Hey people, it is Saturday, July the 20th. The time is 4:42 in the afternoon. It's currently a very hot feeling 27 Celsius with a 30-degree humidex. And I am on the Pape Street pedestrian overpass looking at the downtown skyline, and perfect timing because here comes the GO train. So this is looking to the west. I'm going to make my way down off of this pedestrian bridge, which provides this fantastic view of the skyline, which is the only reason why I came up here to begin the video. The view looking in the other direction isn't as awesome. There's the bridge, and that's a look down at Gerrard Square Mall. I was just inside that mall. And you see another train going in the other direction. So let's get one last look at the skyline and the train. I'm going to make my way down onto Gerrard Street East. And we're just going to head a bit further to the east. My plan is to eventually make my way onto Burntmount Avenue. So we'll be heading south from Gerrard. And I'm going to take a walk past the creepy Dollhouse, which is located on Burntmount Avenue in the Leslieville neighborhood. And the reason why is because the Dollhouse has recently been listed on the market, and it might not continue on any longer in its current state, depending on what the eventual buyers of the home choose to do with it. It's a bit of a landmark and oddity in the city, and draws a fair number of gawkers, including myself on several occasions. After we stop and gawk at the Dollhouse, I'll continue south to Queen Street East, and I'm going to eventually make my way to the Value Village on Queen East in Leslieville. Alright, so here's Pape Avenue. Pape Avenue gets interrupted by the rail corridor. That's why that pedestrian bridge is there. And the street does continue on the other side. I always thought this was a neat little strip of retail here. So I'll be mostly walking through residential areas once I go south of Gerrard Street. So we'll get a look at some of the housing stock here in the Riverdale / Leslieville area. There's the historic Maple Leaf Tavern It's a bit of a landmark for the neighborhood. So as I said, I was just inside the Gerrard Square Mall here before I began this video.
Daddy?
At one time you could enter the Walmart store right here from the street, but they closed that down for some reason or other. Kind of takes a bit away from the urban format nature of the mall. Right now, up ahead is Marjorie Ave, so that's where I'll be heading south. So we'll make our way towards the creepy dollhouse. Now up for grabs. All you need is $999,000, and it's all yours. That's right, it's listed for just under $1 million. Which is a relative bargain. Let's look at the Gerrard Street Strip.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Nice to meet you.
Where are you walking up now?
I'm going to go to the Dollhouse.
Oh, the famous dollhouse.
Yeah, the Dollhouse. Yeah.
It's on rent.
Yeah, because it's for sale, so I just thought I'd go
Is
take
it
a look.
open house though?
I don't know.
I always hear about open house.
Oh, I might. I'll
actually
check it
think
out, I
people
guess.
actually Where'd you come from?
The mall right there. Yeah.
All right, then. Take care.
Cool. You too. Nice meeting you. Just a viewer of the channel. And these nice old streets with their big tree canopy provides awesome shade. I don't know whether to say street trees or tree canopy. You see, this is mostly semi-detached houses. Austin Ave. I bet you at one time this was an old corner store. Toronto used to have way more of this sort of thing. Well, what used to be a corner store, we used to have way more of that sort of thing, I guess you could say. It still does exist here and there in the old part of the city, but many of the old former neighborhood convenience stores like that have been converted into housing or some other use. This is pretty typical of a East End older residential neighborhood. These houses are probably upwards of 100 years old. Some of them are older than that. The ones that are more like row houses tend to be a bit older. And you see pockets of them scattered here and there. That's a neat looking one there. All covered with shingles. That's quite nice. All right, now here's Dundas Street. Looking to the west. And I believe this is Burtmount. Yeah, it is. I had to kind of search for the street sign. Malin Avenue. If Brett Malin sees this, now he knows where his street is. He's a viewer of the channel. And still lots of nice shade provided by many large trees. Not as quite as much as it was on the previous street though. I wonder if there is an open house at the Dollhouse. If there is, I might have to go inside. You can see most of these homes dispense with the traditional grassy front yard. these old neighborhoods, really, I think this sort of thing is more common than the more suburban style front lawns that you see. And we have our first glimpse of the dollhouse. Doesn't seem to be an open house, no sign indicating that one is taking place, but nevertheless I do see the coming soon listing here. There we go. The landmark of the neighborhood. Depending on who you ask, I think some people in the neighborhood will be glad to see this go. Others probably will be sad to see it go. Everyone has reasons for thinking one way or the other. As I mentioned, it's going for $999,000. I think it's $999,999 is the listing price. And if you're wondering what it looks like on the inside, well, I did see some photos of the interior after it went up for sale, and it looks like a regular home inside. It's not covered with more dolls. It's a very nice looking, modern looking home on the inside. And I never really noticed until now that this is also a semi-detached house here. I wonder how the next door neighbors like living so close to to all this. So that explains why it's under $1 million, being a semi-detached house. If it were fully detached, it would be well north of $1 million. I kind of hope this stays. I have a feeling, though, that the new owners will most likely not want any of this. I suppose that will be a big job for the current owners to take all this down, and will they put it back up again at their new place of residence, or will this just be the end of the dollhouse in any form or any location? Let's get one more nice full shot. It's really quite something. So if you got an extra $1 million and you want to take over all this, just call that number on the sign there. And this could be all yours. Well, so long, dollhouse. Hopefully this won't be the last time I see it in its current state. Probably not. I'm sure I'll come back again if it does end up being dismantled. I'll be sure to come back before then, or maybe while that's actually happening. That would make for an interesting video. Making our way south to Queen Street East. So, welcome to the main commercial strip in Leslieville. That's interesting. I don't think I've noticed that before. Let's make our way west, unfortunately into the sun. I'll try to stay close to the storefronts here where there's a bit of shade. Just let some people with doggies walk by. Although, I don't know if they'll stay ahead of me the way dogs like to stop and sniff things. The Valley Villages, not too much further to the east, or west I should say. That street looks very nicely shaded with trees.
Știi ce var m-am lămurit, am fost.
This is a new mid-rise building. You'll see lots of these popping up on Queen Street East here, and also Gerrard Street and the Danforth as well. They're usually quite tastefully done and don't tower over the existing character of the streetscape. A music shop, Cask Music. And you got a doofus in the window. All right, crossing Pape Ave. So we began the video at Pape Ave.
Well, you know, I'm very good online banking.
Up at the pedestrian bridge. There's a pawn shop.
Big signal.
These seem to be disappearing around the city. Pawn shop row on Church Street downtown is all but gone now. This one looks like it's been here a very long time, judging by the sign.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
And the sign for this coin laundry looks just as ancient. Maybe they still accept pennies. Everything here is nice and old. I love this old school convenience store sign also. I think the East End is better for that sort of thing than the West End, which has been a lot more hipsterized, I guess you could say. East Side Social.
What's stopping you from me?
.506 Carlton off route, I'll say. I noticed when I was on Gerrard Street that there were no streetcars, so they've been rerouted onto Queen Street here. Here's Carlaw Avenue. And a little bit of Toronto television history across the street. That shop there, in good neighborhood, at one time was the offices of Playing with Time Productions, which is the production company which produced the Degrassi TV series, Degrassi Junior High, Degrassi High, The Kids of Degrassi Street, and Degrassi The Next Generation. And many of those earlier shows, such as Kids of Degrassi Street and Degrassi Junior High, did a lot of on-location shooting right in this neighborhood. Right along Queen Street here oftentimes. And Degrassi Street itself is just a bit further to the west. The old Degrassi grocery that appeared on the show, much like the other former corner store I pointed out, is now a residence, unfortunately. But there's my destination, Value Village. So I'm going to start to wrap up this walk. I hope you enjoyed. the walk to check out mainly the now for sale dollhouse on Burnt Mount Avenue. But we got to look at the skyline from the pedestrian bridge at Pape and Gerard, and made our way down here to Leslieville. So I hope you enjoyed, as I said, and leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts, or not. And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so, if you want. And also make sure you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos, because you wouldn't want to do that if you do subscribe, right? And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal as well as via my merch store. Or you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members. And be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue